It's Tuesday the 17th of June. Welcome to the World Cup show. Coming up today, what connects Angela Merkel, Adrian Chiles and Rihanna? Why did the WWE's Raul Morales go in late with 2 fingers? And Republic of Ireland and World Cup veteran Matt Holland joins us to preview tonight's big games. So day 5 of the tournament ended on a high when Team USA vanquished their Ghanaian demons with a last-minute Hollywood winner. But in the first game of the day, perennial Portuguese bad boy Pepe had connected perennial German bad girl Angela Merkel, perennial ITV bad Adrian Chiles and pop star Rihanna in a one deft headbutt that wasn't really a headbutt moment. As Portugal capitulated to Germany, the usually docile and cuddly Pepe failed to use his head by using his head, seeing red for seeing red, prompting Chancellor Merkel to spark celebrations that went on deep into the night. It was a sending off that divided opinion, with ITV's Chiles bizarrely leading the pro-Pepe campaign, forging the most unlikely footballing alliance since Stallone and John Walk in Escape to Victory, whilst pop star Rihanna's live blogging during the game was predictably insightful. As well as Pepe's red card, Fabio Coentrão was stretchered off, whilst Raul Morales, disappointed with his teammates' treatment, tried to flip the bird to referee Müller Mazic, but failed miserably, ending up showing the world the altogether less rock and roll double index finger diss. Meanwhile, Clint Dempsey scored USA's fastest ever goal in their World Cup history, and John Brooks' late winner sent America, its celebrities, and the Backstreet Boys into Twitter meltdown. Pitbull's "Good job USA, anything is possible," presumably referred to the emergency services finally managing to extricate him from those white trousers, whilst TV host Chris Harrison... You don't know Chris Harrison? He summed up the views of millions of us watching the game around the world with "Brilliant night at US soccer. Victory, now all-new Bachelorette." Genuine love for Team USA or cynical public shows of affection to curry favour with a certain part of your fan base? You decide. Meanwhile, the most exciting thing to happen during Iran-Nigeria was this. So our guest today, 49 caps for the Republic of Ireland, scoring 5 goals in the process, including 1 in the 2002 World Cup finals. Matt Holland, everybody, in the house. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Now, Matt, what was your pick of yesterday's games? And if you say Nigeria-Iran, you can leave the show right now. We
were due a bad one, weren't we? We were. and it was the 13th game of the tournament, so no, it wasn't that one. No, it has to be Germany beating Portugal. I mean, it was a fantastic performance. Even before Pepe's sending off, I thought they were excellent. The movement in midfield and up front was outstanding, and Portugal just couldn't live with them.
And to think people were concerned about the lack of recognised strikers in that Germany squad.
Well, yeah, there is, but there was good movement in between the 3 of them. Thomas Müller, Goetze and Ozil, I thought, really complemented each other very well. Müller perhaps doesn't always get involved in the build-up play particularly, but he always seems to be in the right place at the right time, and he's got a fantastic goal-scoring record.
Where do you stand on the Pepe incident? Because some quarters defending him.
Well, I can't believe people are defending him, to be honest. I thought it was an absolute ridiculous reaction from him. He is a time bomb waiting to happen, and it was a stupid reaction. Deservedly got sent off. I don't think Thomas Müller helped him in any way, shape or form by his reaction, but at the same time, Pepe has to react in a much better way than he did.
Any way back for Portugal after that?
Yeah, because they've got Cristiano Ronaldo. He's still the best player in the world.
Did he look fit to you, though?
I don't think he's match fit. I think, in terms of his injury, I don't think that's a problem for him, but I think his match fitness is severely lacking. He's missed a lot of football the last month or so. He only played an hour in the warm-up game against Ireland, so that is a bit of a concern.
Where does that individual performance from Thomas Müller rank in terms of all-time World Cup finals displays, do you think?
Well, it's right up there. I mean, obviously the first hat-trick of this tournament, to get a hat-trick in the World Cup against opposition as good as Portugal as well, stands out. I think he is Johnny on the spot. He's someone that, you put him inside the 18-yard box, he's clinical.
Now, it's almost a contractual obligation from FIFA, it felt like, to deliver such an exciting finish in the Ghana-USA game after we had to sit through Iran-Nigeria, and what a finish it was.
It was incredible, because once Ghana equalised, I thought they were the only team that were going to go on and win it. They looked the stronger team. After that Clint Dempsey goal very early on, I thought Ghana were the better side, were quicker, stronger than the USA, and once they got the equaliser, as I say, I thought they were the team that would go on and win it. Sure enough, USA, John Brooks, only on his 5th appearance, I think, for his international side, going and gets that magical winner late on. It was an incredible game, actually. Played at a very high tempo, but I thought Ghana were very unlucky not to get anything from it.
You commentated on it. What did you make of Team USA watching them for 90 minutes?
Organised, disciplined. I thought Beckham and Jones in midfield particularly worked very hard. I thought Jeff Cameron actually did very well as well, because he had a difficult opponent in Asamoah Gyan. His movement's very difficult to deal with, and I thought he did that well, stuck to his task well, and he led from the back. I thought he was excellent. Worry about them a little bit going forward. Josie Altidore picked up an injury, which is a concern for them, and obviously no Landon Donovan in the squad, so there's a lot of reliance on Clint Dempsey to get the goals for them.
Yeah, they might live to regret not taking Donovan. Right, let's look ahead to tonight's games. Belgium Algeria is an intriguing one. Belgium, of course, very highly fancied. Are you buying into that hype?
Well, I am. I don't think they're strong enough to win it, but I think they've got very talented players, and I think they can go far in the tournament. You know, throughout the spine of the side, they've got good players. Courtois in goal and Vincent Kompany at the back I think is excellent, strong in midfield, and then perhaps lack a little bit up front. Obviously Lukaku's in the squad, but Benteke's injury gives them a bit of a problem, but they've got some very talented players plying their trade in the Premier League, and I think they'll go far in the tournament. And
Algeria, there's a sense in some quarters that could be, as our American friends say, a bit of a trap game because nobody's fancying their chances at all.
I don't see this being a problem for Belgium. I really don't. I think that Algeria, their World Cup record isn't particularly good. Actually, an old teammate of mine is the captain there, Majid Bagheera. Nabil Bentaleb in midfield. But I look around that squad, I don't think there's a great deal of ability, and I fancy Belgium to win it quite comfortably.
OK, Matt, let's look at tonight's likely lineups in a little bit more depth. We'll start with Belgium Algeria. You can play 3 cards across any of our games, by the way. Unsung Hero, Breakout Star, and Head-to-Head.
Right, OK, I think I'll play Unsung Hero on this game.
And you're going to play it on?
I'm going to play it on Axel Witsel, centre midfield for Belgium. I think he's an important part of the side. He plays just in front of the back four. I think they'll line up 4-1-4-1. And he played in every game in qualifying. He's had an excellent season. He's someone that is excellent defensively. But also he gets a goal as well, so I think he's an important cog in the team, and yet no one's talking about him, particularly when you think about the talent that they've got. Obviously Hazard comes to mind. You know, Vincent Kompany's just won the league with Manchester City, and he's someone that's gone under the radar, perhaps because he's playing in Russia at Zenit St Petersburg. He went there for big money actually from Benfica, but he's a top player and he's someone to watch out for. All
right, next up, Brazil-Mexico. Should be quite comfortable for Brazil, shouldn't it?
I'm not sure, because Mexico seems to have the Indian sign over Brazil. I think it's a tricky game for them. They got beat in the Olympic final by Mexico, Brazil, and Reed Peralta scored both goals in that final, scored the winner against Cameroon in the opening game. I thought they looked impressive actually, Mexico, in that opener. Giovanni Dos Santos had 2 goals unfairly ruled out, and it could have been a more comfortable victory. So I think it's a tricky game, and they weren't convincing, Brazil against Croatia, so it's a tough match, this one.
Now Peralta's one of the 2 protagonists in your head-to-head battle, your second card that you're playing.
Yeah, I think this is an important battle. David Luiz against Peralta. I think David Luiz, of course, we've seen him at Chelsea lots in the Premier League, and at times he can go wandering. He can start venturing into midfield, and that's something he can't afford to do with Peralta around. He's got a goal every 2 games at international level, and he's a real threat. So,
are you convinced by Luiz defensively? Because he does seem to divide opinion, doesn't he?
I'm not convinced. No, I think Chelsea have got a fantastic deal by selling him to PSG for the money they have done. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a talented player. I've always thought he's better in centre midfield rather than at centre back. But Luis Gustavo's got a big job in front of that back four just to keep an eye on it, and fill in if David Luiz does go wandering. But I think that's a key battle tonight.
Now, Russia-South Korea, the final game. Either of these 2 teams stake their claim as a dark horse in the tournament for you?
Not really. I'm not convinced by either of them. Although Russia did qualify top of a group, including Portugal, so they can't be ignored. South Korea have had a horrible warm-up to the tournament, lost 4-0 twice coming into it. So I don't think either of them will trouble the tournament too far.
But your breakout star comes from this game.
Yeah, it does. For South Korea, Son Heung-min. He's a terrific player, plays for Bayer Leverkusen. They bought him from Hamburg last summer. He's had a good season in the Bundesliga, scoring into double figures. I think he got 10 goals in 31 games. Predominantly a left-sided player, but can come inside and play up front as well. He's come to the attention of Liverpool already. I think he's only 21 years of age, so he's someone to look out for.
Great stuff, Matt. Well, that's just about it for today's show. Many thanks indeed to Matt Holland once again. You can leave your predictions in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Coming up tomorrow, we've got Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank back in the studio. Woo! Yes. Matt's giving that a round of applause. And for plenty more World Cup content, you can check it out right here. See you tomorrow. Now, Matt, need to get you to sign the desk.
Yes, no problem.
There is your Sharpie. Anywhere you want.
Anywhere I want.
I'll even move my mug if you want.
Do it in the middle, shall I? Midfield somewhere.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Midfield.
Makes sense.
That makes sense, doesn't it?
You're above Annie Zoltzman, the comedian there, so yeah, just holding for Zoltz, who is actually quite a creative midfielder.
Is he? Oh yeah, that's fine. I'll be the Axel Witsel of the team.